Hello my beautiful citizens of Thra, and welcome back to my new series 7 Things You Didn't Know About the 7 Gelfling Clans. Today, we will be covering the Dousan. Number 1. Xerics, Sandmasters, and Guardians. Unlike most of the Gelfling clans, the Dousan were not congealed into one single group, but many smaller groups called Xerics. These Xerics were very close-knit groups of talented, skilled, and highly trained warriors and organizers, carrying out specific tasks on the outskirts of their homeland for the enhancement of their clan. Each Xeric was led by a Sandmaster, a noble and fearless individual, hand-selected by their Madra to lead, and each Sandmaster always has 2 close companions that act as second Sandmasters, creating a small council in each division. Each Xeric also had 3 very specific and important roles among their members. The first 2 roles were the navigators and the pilots. Pilots were essential to the Xeric's operation, and this was because most entrusted their transportation to massive sand skiffs made from giant bones that rode the waves like sand. They also formed very close bonds with creatures called crystal skimmers, giant ray-like creatures that glided through the air and were big enough to ride on. The navigators were also very gifted at reading the skies, and oftentimes even learned the art of far dreaming, making them very skilled at mastering their ever-changing sand dunes and hearing the secret whispers in the wind. The third and most interesting role was that of the Guardian. But unlike clans like the Stonewood where this name would take on a more literal meaning, in this case it meant ritual guardian. Well versed in meditation, spirit tasks, and rituals, these Xeric guardians were often elders who acted as mentors, council members, and delegators of the required daily spiritual tasks. Number 2. Language of Silence. Most already know that the Dousan use very little spoken language to communicate, as their arid, hot environment dictated their extreme moisture conservation. But a much larger aspect of this reason is best explained by the Madra herself. This is a direct passage from Songs of the 7 Gelfling Clans. Breath issues forth water from within the body. Saving breath saves moisture, a valuable essence among the sands. In the beginning, this is why we learned as a clan to be quiet. But once we held our tongues, we found our ears were free. Open and undistracted, we began to hear the song of the sands, the song of the winds, the song of the crystal desert. We became still. We were able to see how the world moves around us. When we devote our lives to silence, we become witness to the deafening melody of Thra. Such beautiful, meaningful words, and when you hear it put like that, it makes perfect sense. As a result, this clan has invented a very unique system of hand communication, filled with various gestures, movements, and patterns, and they can communicate as fluently as speaking. Number 3. Day of the Dying Sun. The dying sun of Thra is of course the smallest and dimmest sun. But something fascinating about Dousan mythology is that they actually believe the suns were separate incarnations of the same sun called the Triple Sun. Their connection to the dying sun is fitting, given their close relationship to the cycle of life and especially death, and to them, the dying sun represents the living manifestation of a journey to death. So, on the single day that the sun is visible, they remove their head coverings, gather in groups of 3, clasping their hands together, and hold sessions of what is called empty dream fasting. Empty dream fasting consists of no memories or emotions, only the connection to the sun, and this unique form of meditation lasts the entire day until the sun dips below the sky once again. Number 4. Trial of the Dedome. The Dedome was the Dousan's sigil animal, and this 4-legged shelled creature has a very unique history. Said to have emerged from the footprints of a fallen star, possibly Raunip himself. The Dousan came to admire and respect this creature, so much so that they even invented a clan trial around its mythos. This trial was performed twice by each Dousan member, once at a young age and again after retiring from Zarek. On each occasion, the clan member leaves the wellspring in the darkest hours of the night, completely naked, wearing nothing but a thin sheet of red cloth. They are to remain in the wilderness of the desert, testing their fortitude for 3 days, and if they should return, they are anointed with the milk of the wellspring tree. If they are a youngling, they are allowed to join a Zarek, and if they are an elder, they are granted their last home, a private hut deep within the wellspring, and a seat on the Dousan Council Circle. Now, if any of you are curious about what actually happens on their 3 days, stay curious, because no one outside the clans will ever know. Number 5. Dousan Incense. Among many other spiritual tasks, the Dousan elders are also master incense makers, and their special blends are famous throughout the lands, even used by the Al-Madra in the Vaprin Citadel. This incense is made from the dried bark peeling from the aging sections of the wellspring tree, utilizing its sticky sap and spices to create a unique, savory, and heady scent, which gives off blue plumes of smoke. In almost every clan, from the shores to the caves, you can smell their familiar scent. Number 6. Tale of Tattoos. Everyone knows about Dousan tattoos. They are incredibly artistic and look really cool. But these were much more than just decorative. Made from different types of pollens and plant substances found only in the Crystal Desert, their main purpose had always been to protect their skin from the increased glares of the suns. But most importantly, they told stories of each clan member's memorable, daring, and brave journeys, with each curve, point, and shape representing a different meaning. The process itself was extremely painful. Unlike our own highly advanced needle guns, Dousan tattoos were created with the sharp scales from sand skimmers, which were cut into strips and triangles, dipped in ink, and then hammered into the flesh with small mallets. The most widely used colors were deep blue, green, and gold. Number 7. Dousan funerals. Because the Dousan were so strongly connected to death, one might imagine their funerals would be very dark and melancholy. However, it is anything but. When an important member of the clan, like a Sandmaster, passed away, this was the only time the Dousan came truly alive. Instruments were played, with gusto and beautiful melodies. Belongings are burned in a sacred pyre by the Madra herself, and friends sing loudly and proudly from their hearts, telling tales of great journeys through song. And as the night passes, the ashes of the pyre disappear into the wind, and the Dousan continue on, with another cherished memory, lost to the winds in the cycle of life. Well, my friends, that's gonna do it for the Dousan. Now it's time for you guys to leave all of your thoughts and opinions down below in the Great White Void. Tell me, what is your favorite aspect of this clan? And as always, until next we meet, take care, and I'll see you guys back here for the next video very soon.